You know, the answer to this, when they were preparing this hymnal, I had the good fortune of living in Nashville, Tennessee, and every so often when they had hymnal committee meetings, this was back around 1985 and 86, I got to be in the room with the hymnal committee and got to hear lots of interesting things. One of the things I found out is that our next hymn won in 2 categories. It won in the category of Most Beloved Hymn, and it won in the category of Most Hated Hymn. I suspect with us it will be in the Most Beloved Hymn category, and that is number 77 in the United Methodist Hymnal, How Great Thou Art. Now, I'm not going to give you the whole story, but there's an interesting story behind How Great Thou Art. So it was first written in 1885 in Sweden by a Swedish minister, a 26-year-old Swedish minister whose name was Carl Bomberg. It was based on a psalm, and so the original went something like this. When I the world consider, which thou hast made by thy mighty word, and how the web of life thy wisdom guideth, and all creation feedeth at thy hand, then doth my soul burst forth in song of praise, O great God, O great God. So it was of course in Swedish, but that's how it would have been translated. It was published and forgotten, or so Bomberg thought. It was then picked up later in 1907 in Germany, and it was sung for a little bit, and then someone got hold of it in Russia and translated it into Russian in 1927. And it was after the time it got translated into Russian that a missionary by the name of Stuart Hine heard it sung. He was very, very taken with it. He was doing missionary work in the Carpathian Mountains, and so when he then translated it, get this journey, Swedish, German, Russian, when he translated it to English, he was moved by a thunderstorm in this Carpathian village and the mighty mountains which he beheld. And so he translated it to English. That was the first 3 verses. Very interesting story that the 4th verse was written a little more than a decade later as Stuart Hine was in England. And verse 4 comes out of refugee ministry. We're very aware these days of refugees and refugee ministries. Well, what happened was, in England at that time, where he was conducting meetings, he had interfaced with a number of refugees from Germany who were escaping the Nazis. And the most frequent question he heard, this was before World War II, the most frequent question he heard among the refugees was, when will we go home? Now think for a minute about how the 4th verse begins. When Christ shall come with shout of acclamation and take me home. Going to add one short story that I got to experience this summer. A lot of you know I was gone for about 2.5 weeks down in North Carolina. Had the privilege of directing music at a music festival sponsored by the Presbyterian Church. And about 1,000 people would come in each week from all over the United States, mostly from the Southeast, but really all around the country. And my job each week was to direct 2 youth choirs, the high school choir of all the high school youth there, and then I was to do an auditioned youth choir. Well, when I held auditions, there were 2 young men who auditioned, and they were from, now I got to say the country, it'll come to me in a minute, the country they were from, one of the Eastern Asian countries where there was a lot of persecution, I'll say. It was not Thailand, but it was close to there. There were these 2 young men who auditioned, and musically I thought, I don't know if they're going to be able to cut what we're doing, because we were doing a concert just 3 days later with this group. And it's a national event, so the expectations were high. But something inside me said, no, these two men need to be in this group. They were so excited when they auditioned. So we rehearsed through the week. And to break up rehearsal, because we rehearse all day long, I do crazy little things just to break up the day. And so in the middle of rehearsal, at a certain time, and I pre-programmed this, I'd have one young person jump up no matter what I was doing and say, "It's time for question of the day." And then another young person would jump up and they would say the question of the day. And then we had this room full of teenagers. They could give a short answer to the question of the day. Well, that day, the question of the day was, before you die, where do you want to visit in this world before you die? Well, the answers went around the room. I want to go to Australia. I want to go to the North Pole. I want to go to Austria. And all the answers came. And one of these young men very quietly said, and most of the group couldn't hear it, "I want to go home one more time." Well, the story of these two young men were that they had lived the first 12 years of their life in a refugee camp, and a church, a Baptist church up in Rochester, New York, had brought them over. And these were the two most hard-working young men. And so it just really reached me when he said, "I really want to go home." Well, the closing night of the concert came. We did our concert. And when the conference ended, all 1,000 voices joined together to sing, "How Great Thou Art." We'll never forget the moment when we got to the 4th verse of "How Great Thou Art," and this young man, 15 years old, clenched his fists in praise, and with every ounce of energy he had, he sang, "When Christ shall come, with shout of acclamation, and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart." "How Great Thou Art" is my favorite hit now. And I thought, we live in a world where there's so many people displaced, living in fear, living in, will my children be part of a drug cartel? What will happen? This world is not a comfortable place for many, many people. And yet, as believers, our home is not New Cumberland. Our home is where Christ will ultimately take us. So, if it's okay, since this is our last song, unless we want to do what your time is, as long as you want to sing, if you want to stand for this one, feel free to. You don't have to, but if you want to stand, just because you've been sitting for a while, feel free to. And we'll sing the first and last verses of "How Great Thou Art." And then if you want to catch a few more verses of our hymns, I'll stay here and play the rest of the day because I'm loving this. So, "How Great Thou Art," number 77, verses 1 and 4. Don't look at the hymnal too much because you probably know the words already.